Okay, number 5, y equals mx plus b. Number 5, we don't have the slope or the y-intercept. Got to go find then the slope. Now use your slope formula. Change in the y's over change in the x's. So the slope turns out to be 2. So what we have going now is y equals 2x plus something. Go find that y-intercept. We've talked about plugging in one of those points for x and y. So I'm going to take the point 1, 1 and solve for b. So 1 minus 2 gives me negative 1. Y-intercept is 2x minus 1. Okay, number 6, got to get y by itself. It's a positive 5x. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. I'm going to come around and divide by negative 15. Now, negative 5 divided by negative 15, that's a 1/3. And negative 45 divided by negative 15, that's a positive 3. So 1/3 x plus 3. Perpendicular, I'm going to steal its slope and take its opposite reciprocal. So negative 5/2 x starts it. To find that y-intercept, like we've been doing, I'm going to plug in that x and y into the equation I'm building and solve for b. Negative 5/2 times 2 turns out to be negative 5. Add 5 over, y-intercept of 7. And then lastly, it is parallel. I'm going to steal its slope and keep it the same because parallel lines have the same slope. But the problem is it's not y equals. I need to get y by itself first. I'm going to add 2x over. And then I'm going to divide by negative 1. So the slope turns out to be negative 2. Take that point like we've been doing. And then solve for b. Looks like b turns out to be 3. Number 9, slope of a has a slope of negative 5. Run it through there. If a is negative 5, b is negative 5 because it's parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, opposite reciprocal, opposite reciprocal. So the slope of line D is back to negative 5. Number 10, the equation x equals negative 1/2 is graphed. Graph and write the equation line perpendicular to that. So it needs to be horizontal. And that must go through 0.54. So 0.54 is right there. Must go through that, be perpendicular to the original. The equation for that line is, because it's horizontal, y equals 4. The slope of that line we said is because it's horizontal is always 0. There is no rise. So the rise is 0. There's run. 0 divided by anything is 0. On part B, same thing, but now we want to be parallel to x equals negative 1.5. So it's going to be vertical. Now we want to go through negative 7, comma negative 2.5. So to be parallel to that, we got to be vertical. We get this vertical line. The equation of that is x equals, and it's going through at negative 7. It's always the x coordinate of that point you want to go through. And then the slope of that is undefined. Since it's vertical, there is no run. There's rise, but there's no run. And because there's no run, you can't divide by 0, so we say it's undefined. Last one there, number 11. Write the equation line where the slope is undefined. So as soon as I realize the slope is undefined, I gotta have a vertical line. Now I want it to go through the point 14.75, negative 6. So think about it, it's gotta be vertical. I gotta go through that point. That means it's whatever the x coordinate is, just like we did back on number 10, okay? So since we want it to go through 14.75, that's the x value. It's gotta be at x equals 14.75. That's gonna give you a vertical line such that the slope is undefined.